and my G2 is coming back. Oh yeah, you got this one, you got this one, you got this one. And I'm like, cool, we got him, all right. And he goes, and finally it came back during the debrief. How many Sams did you kill?
Well, no. The first thing was how many. The first one was how many Sams out there were.
Oh, right. And I said 7.
Yeah.
and then the question came back, and of those 7, how many did you kill? And I said 5. It was Snyder. How many Sams did you have? None.
They were all decoys.
Right. So I killed 5 of the 7 Sams that weren't. I killed 5 of the 7 Sams that weren't there.
Yeah, they blew the hell out of the decoys.
I dumped so much ordnance on them balloons. I'm here to tell you.
There were a lot. Adam, did you ever get a chance to play in one of the command post exercises?
Yeah, I think 2 years ago I was Fires. I remember being lost most of the time.
Yeah. That's
a true Kriegspiel. Well done.
Yes.
And I did the Kriegspiel last Origins. It was a little more. I like that one a little. It's different. One's more of a. They're both team exercises, but with the Kriegspiel, at least you have your guys and you can kind of do your own thing. But the guy who's the overall commander was making some really poor decisions, and I guess he kind of broke the game a little.
That's kind of the norm.
The city. Huh? Oh, that's the norm?
That's the norm.
Pretty much the norm.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So, hey, somebody who has YouTube access alongside whatever you're streaming right now, go hit our front page and see if you've got the stream visible on Armchair Dragoons. Just curious. It should be there.
The forum.
If you're on the forum, just click on the big dragoon at the top. It'll take you to the front page.
It's been there.
Yeah.
There it
There's a
is.
front page. I don't even know how to get there.
All right. It's going to be a great inception moment of us watching ourselves.
Because it's playing.
You are streaming.
Now we're all cross-talking. How do you... So, like, whoever posted the Shadow Empire for Matrix, that was kind of an interesting, looking forward. In some of these articles, I never know how they're connected to the forum, because it seems like there's a disconnected topic on those blog posts, but they're not really tied to forum discussion.
So, generally when posting those articles to the front page, there's a thing in the post template that just points you straight to the forums. So that'll get you into the forums, but not necessarily to the specific topic. Because we don't always have the specific topic started when the article posts. In the case of Shadow Empire, we did. So sometimes you have to noodle around in the forums a little bit. If I think about it, I'll go back and I'll clean up the forum posts sometimes. I don't always remember to.
In case of Shadow Empire, because sometimes you have to... There's a ghost.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad there, Brian.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I think it's because I'm running the stream from here also that it's connectivity. So in the case of Shadow Empire, the thread had already started. I probably should have linked the article straight into there. But one of the things we do in all cases is if we've got a forum thread already started on a game, when we do publish something, an article on it, we will drop that link into the thread in the forum. So that's always going to drop into there. So you can always monitor that from the forums. It would be nice if there was a way to sort of auto-generate the two connections. At the risk of getting a little too techie for anybody that's still paying attention out there in YouTube land, the main part of the site is running on WordPress. It's a WordPress theme that we're building off of there. and the forums are running on Simple Machine Forums. So they're two completely separate apps in two completely separate databases, and there's not a great API to link them. So we've tried in the past several times in several places. There's just not a great API to link them
Okay,
to.
well, I'll search the forum, and if there's not one on an article I read, I'll create a topic or something.
Yeah, totally.
I don't remember, it was a while ago, but
some of them we have some running threads on just so that we don't end up with too many threads proliferating. So like the podcast just has one long running thread in the Intel dump area. So anything people want to chime in on the podcast, that's the best place to do it. So last episode of season 4 went up today. And Jim, we did talk some Persian Incursion on it. So it's interesting. Like that Persian Incursion game happened almost 10 years ago, and we've talked about it about 6 different times on podcasts this season. I don't know why.
Well, the game's from like 30 years ago, isn't it?
Nah, it's about 12.
A failure that spectacular is likely to linger.
And you get to wear it.
I do. Especially as Brad correctly points out, there's video.
There is. All right, Trail Runner. Time to put the pressure on. When are you going to come join us at Origins some year?
Where is it?
Columbus, Ohio.
That's close enough.
The garden spot of America. Normally it's in June. Normally it's in June, but they've pushed this year's back because of the current plague going around. So they're shooting for October, and we're hoping that it actually happens. Jim's probably already nodding in disagreement. There's not a great chance this is going to end up happening this year, but we still got a plan as though it will.
I got asked because of my day job and because everybody knows I'm nerd at the core, I got asked to be on a panel about conventions and gaming and all this stuff in the era of the 19, and I said, "What do you want to know? We're not going to do it."
Yeah.
I mean, my presentation, I'm happy to do it, but my presentation will last about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
What I will ask you to do is throw up a picture, which somebody had, of the Gen Con show floor at the height of Friday. I probably did it last year. And in what universe does that happen?
Yeah. No kidding.
And in Origins, yes, is it secure? But I believe the convention center is still an alternative care facility.
No, they've shut that down.
Ohio.
I think they shut down the one in Columbus.
My understanding was it was up through the end of the month, but okay, you're more on top of that than I am. But just talking to those folks. But B, and more relevantly, absent a vaccine or a ready pattern of treatment, we're hanging out just like this.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
For at least a year.
Keeping ourselves COVID-free with whiskey. God bless you.
So, Trail Runner, that's a long way around. You've got till next summer to plan to be there. So, June of 2021. And Bonsai Cat, that means you've got about 18 months to get your excuses ready. Because we know you're not going to make it. And Metal Dog, that should give you a long enough lead time to try and get the right week off work that year. To try at least.
Yeah, I'll pick my vacation in January, and I'll probably know then whether I'll be able to attend.
Yeah. Yep.
This will be my third. This will be my third one.
Yeah.
What kind of war games do they play there?
So this year we had scheduled the Kriegspiels that Jim and James and the gang have run in the past. So a legit double blind Kriegspiel, 8 players out there in the blinded study carrels with just their map in front of them and the runners going back and forth. You've heard reference to the CPXs, the command post exercises. Those are a cooperative event where everybody's playing together as military staff that you're playing against the Op 4 that's run by the guys that created the Flashpoint Campaigns games. And so they coach you up as commander, an XO, a fires guy, an intel guy, a log guy, a maneuver guy. And you've got to put together your staff plan and then actually go execute the plan and go fight the plan and see what happens. And so on turn 2, your plan goes to shit and, the coaches look at you and go, okay, commander, now what? You get to figure it out as you go. We've done distant plane for the coin games. We've usually got some lock and load tactical stuff going on. We've or one of the lock and load games because Dave's a real good supporter of it. GMT stuff we have on the table all the time because GMT is a supporter of stuff we've done. So we've had Commands and Colors, Ancients, and Napoleonics, right, Jim?
Yep. And Medieval.
Yeah, and Medieval last year. That's right. We had Medieval. We've had Wing Leader. Vance did Wing Leader at one point. We've had Fort Sumter, Talon, Cataclysm. I mean, not all these in one year. This was over multiple years.
Sergeant's Minis.
The Sergeant's Minis when they bother to show up, when Lost Battalion bothers to come to the show. We do a lot with those guys because the Sergeant's Minis game looks great on the table, and Vance has done like 5 years of coaching that, so he's really good at it at this point. So, it's a mixed bag of a bunch of stuff. We don't have a ton of ASL because MMP hasn't been there as any kind of sponsor or vendor in the past. We've got a little more flexibility to work with that now, so we might be able to sneak some ASL or Labatt kind of stuff in there coming up in the next couple of years. So we'll have to see. But
as long as that command post sounds like it's a real army, as long as they don't have any PowerPoint there, I might join.
It starts with a
Don't tell him.
PowerPoint.
Don't tell him.
It starts with
Don't tell him.
PowerPoint, man. And it's what it starts with.
Well, it starts with a couple of slides that are designed to teach people who know nothing about a staff what those different staff roles are, just so that they know what their job is in the game, so they know what they got to do. Some folks already know. A lot of folks don't have a clue, and so we got to give them the basic in brief there. So.
But it is power, straight up Army power, man.
Look, the guys that are
Whenever I look at
coaching
PowerPoint, I get charged an hourly rate.
the guys that are coaching it are either on the faculty at command at CGSC or former military, or been around former military so long that they can't help themselves.
Don't know what they're doing. You're playing against the computer op 4. It's a blast. It really is.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
That sounds like fun.
I'm going to see. So I can't screen share and have the camera on at the same time. So I'm going to try and hold the tablet up here and see if anybody... Well, that didn't work. Let's see. That's the overhead view of the exhibit hall at Origins that we were able to sneak a camera crew in up there last time and get some pictures. So that's the overhead panorama of the exhibit hall. But we'll all miss it this year just because there's a plague. Urgh. Damn bats. Right? Some dude in China decides to serve bat carpaccio, and the rest of us don't game conventions. So we're gonna guilt Michael into showing up for one of these Origins.
Even closer now, right?
No, he's actually further.
No, it's 18 hours just to get to Texas.
Well, fly.
Ohio.
Fly.
I don't know.
It's cheap to fly in the States. Come on.
now, probably really after all this crap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have the plane to
Only
yourself.
6 people to a plane now.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. A knock at the door. What do you need?
Hey,
What flashlight do I use?
The red one down on the bricks down on the
I want
floor.
to ask, is Vance or Bart, is he the guy who doesn't like clipping counters?
That's me.
Hey, Vance,
Oh, you horrible, horrible person.
look at this. You want to watch? I can do it
You
for you.
horrible person. Maver.
I think Trail Runner's got his going there too.
See, what cracks me up is that in Tabletop Simulator, where there is exactly no reason to round counters at all,
You can.
it still gives you the option to do rounded counters.
Yep. Hey, all the spy games we've been playing, there's perfectly square counters.
I really should get
Sharp
there and fix
points.
that. I should
You
fix
don't you dare. I will never play with you again.
You get the feeling that if we
change.
you get the feeling that if we bought Vance a copy of Hammer of the Scots, we'd go ahead and sand the wooden blocks down for him just out of principle.
Yeah, well, you gave me an order of the square buttons and then cut the corners off of it.
Yes. And yours was the only one that Staggerwing made like that too.
Yes. Yes, I still have to get Stagger for that.
For to catch everyone else up, for a couple of years in a row, these badge lanyards, our boy Staggerwing was using the 3D printer to print some little tchotchkes that we could stick on the badge lanyards. And one year we did the Order of the Square button in honor of our Napoleonic buddies that get really overly irked about uniform detail. And so everybody had their little bronze Order of the Square button, which was a square button, except Vance's, which had rounded corners on it.
Yeah, that was a hoot, man.
Oh, yeah, that's a real fun. Yeah.
So if you ever play Luftwaffe, do you purposely square those corners?
Hey, man, they were made round. That's okay.
I'd like to see
The
that.
mutilation of perfectly square corners that I am against. I have looked at. That was my very, very first war game ever.
Mine too.
I love that game.
Among wargamers of a certain age, that
Still
seems
not
to be true.
Yeah.
That was their
I was
first war game.
14 when I got it, I think.
You still have your copy, Vance?
Yes, sir. It's on my shelf. Right there.
You should bring it with you one year and ask Lou to autograph it for you.
Sure.
And 2 days later, when you still haven't gotten out of the booth because he's still talking to you, we'll just drop some food off for you. Lou Zochi's a nice dude. He's starved for company. If you stop by the booth and chat with him, he will chat with you the entire weekend. I'm not wrong. Some of you have been to that booth, and we didn't see you for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's a few people around Origins like that.
yes. Lou was one of them. So, what was cool about Lou was one year.
Actually, I got sucked into a discussion at Decision Games that way.
All right, so I went and looked it up because of the comment that was made.
Uh-oh.
What are the top 5 best-selling Avalon Hill war games of all time?
Panzer Blitz.
Luftwaffe.
Negative.
Squad Leader, probably.
Peter?
Was Pater? Negative.
Squad Leader.
Squad Leader is 1.
Panzer
Number 5 is 3. Third Reich is Squad Leader is 4. Third Reich is 5. Panzer Blitz is 3. What is 1 and 2?
Outdoor
Tactics.
Survival.
Outdoor Survival is number 1. Correct.
Really?
What is number 2?
Probably something stupid like Lie, Cheat, and Steal. Are we talking original Avalon Hill, or is like the Scooby-Doo Mystery Manor game in there?
I will come through this screen and strangle you.
Mystery Wizard.
It is not Mystery Wizard. By the way, Outdoor Survival is the only game that my wife has banned from the house.
Oh, really?
Oh, she hated it with a visceral hatred.
She's in the background. Hello.
Hey, there she is. I still don't have number 2.
Number 2.
Is it feudal?
It's not Tactics. Tactics 2.
It's not feudal. It is no.
Is it actually? Is it actually a war game?
It's not a war. It is not a war game.
Oh, and it's not acquired. Stock market.
Mr. President.
Stop it.
What is it?
Facts in 5.
Huh?
They're trivia game.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I didn't even know they made a trivia game.
It wasn't any good.
But it's like so when we do talk, and as we often do about Avalon Hill and the glory days and how everything isn't a war game and all this other stuff, just bear in mind. Let's see, in the top 10 all-time Avalon Hill games, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are demonstrably not war games.
Well, they need to make money somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably, Squad Leader made them some money. They sold like a gazillion copies.
Squad Leader's still making them money. They're not even publishing it, and they're making money.
It's not making them money. It's making MMP money.
Well, no, they're paying royalty rights for the name.
But not
MMP.
to Avalon Hill.
Yeah.
There's nobody at Avalon Hill.
Well, no, it belongs to Hasbro.
Yeah, Hasbro owns the rights there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that came over with all that stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, back in the day, you could buy those games in bookstores and toy stores.
Oh, yeah.
You can get them at drugstores.
Yep.
Department stores.
I got mine in Sears in Canada.
Adam was like -3 years old when, based on what we're talking about here.
Yeah, definitely before my time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you
Starter kits?
do you remember any of the Avalon Hill games being on
Well,
store
yeah,
shelves,
starter
or
kits
just all on the secondhand market?
Original Squad Leader? The original Squad Leader and the original Class of Iron were it, man.
No, my era is mainly like the Milton Bradley, like big box games of the '80s playing.
Axis and Allies and Fortress America and
Yeah.
Broadsides and boarding parties. Conquest of the
Shogun
Empire.
and
Shogun.
Conquest of the Empire.
Conquest of the Empire. That's a great game. That's a fantastic game.
You know what's amazing about Conquest of the Empire is, Mike, was it Glenn Drover that redid it? With
Yeah.
yeah. So
Back when it was Eagle.
yeah. So Eagle Games redid Conquest of the Empire and somehow made the toy factor go up. I'm
That's
not
the
sure.
one I've got is the Empire game.
The Eagle Games version.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Conquest 2 with the super diplomacy version and
Yeah. The toy factor managed to go
Well-
up from the old Milton Bradley game when they republished it.
yeah.
Well, Glenn hired Martin Wallace to write a set of Euro rules for it.
Yeah, there's 2 rules in that box in the new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are radically different games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is an old school Axis and Allies area control, dudes on a map, roll some dice, smash some heads, and the other is Martin Wallace going, yeah, now we have now we will gather wheat. What are you doing?
It is nothing like Gather Wheat. What the hell? Have you ever played it?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's like
Yes, I
diplomacy. It
Award.
causes fights in my game group. This game.
The Martin Wallace rules.
Yeah.
Hey, if your game
I
group
was
wants to
like,
argue
what's-
over wheat, we're
Well,
well.
You bid for allies, and there's 6 teams, 6 games. If you play a full game, a 6-player game, you bid for allies. So there's 3 sets of 2 allies, and you bid on who gets to go first in a turn, and you only get 4 actions in a turn. And you got to build stuff, and you got to take over political stuff. And you got
It's a
to
Euro.
fight.
It's
It's
a
not
Euro.
a Euro.
Oh,
Shut your whore mouth. Yeah? Minis are Euros. Little toy games.
I'm gonna go get this game. We're gonna play this game because it's on Tabletop Simulator.
Yes, we'll have a game. We're gonna get 6 people because it's like laying in the sand when you get the right number of people.
Yeah. And all the other people except you will say, "Hey, are you guys playing this cool Euro?" And we'll say, "Yes."
Does it have meatballs?
Oh, there are no meatballs.
I'm bringing meatballs.
There are no meatballs and there is no wheat. Damn it.
Are you sure there's no wheat?
There is no wheat. There is no wheat gathering.
Roads. There's roads, there's cities, there's city walls.
There is no wheat gathering. It's not a fantastic wheat gathering fluff bullshit.
You can add it.
You could.
Why?
If you don't want Doug to play.
Optional rules is written by Jim.
He's looking it up now, I can tell.
I am looking it up. I think there's wheat in here.
There is no wheat in there.
There's not wheat in there.
It's grain.
No, there's no grain. That's advanced civilization. That's a really good one. Oh.
Chris, how is
I'm proving Vance wrong.
like that's a challenge. Chris, how's the role playing game going with the kids? Are you guys still on hiatus or are you back to it? Metal Dog walked away from his
Just doing
phone there.
magic these days. Hey,
Uh-oh.
Mike, you got a game group going in Arizona yet?
No.
Perfectly good miniatures people are inviting him, and he's keeping them at arm's length.
No. He actually invited me, but this COVID thing shut everything down. He said he might start up again here, in May, June? I can't remember. And if that happens, I'll probably join him just to see what it's all about. But the last thing I need is another habit.
Well, yeah, but you use their toys, not your own.
Well, point, yeah, but you know how that goes. Toys. You like the toys, you gotta have the toys.
You gotta have the toys.
But
This is why I like playing on the tabletop simulator with Jim. He makes all the toys and we just play with them.
That's
And
true.
he's not even making the toys.
He's just copying and pasting.
I'm surprised at the number of things I'm finding, especially old ones that are out there on Tabletop Simulator. Like
You gotta get Giorgio over onto Armchair Dragoons there, Jim.
Giorgio's come over.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, he said hi. No. He just, Giorgio, you're always a dude. You know we love you. He just posted a bunch of Republican Romans.
Yeah. He also did medieval stuff. That's awesome.
But, yeah, no, there's somebody posting a huge set for L'Art de Guerre.
Okay.
So, yeah, people, this is the other thing. When you play with real minis, yeah, many people do want to share their stuff. And I know that the guys that are inviting Bonsai Cat over to play want to share their toys. But the thing is, on Tabletop Simulator, you get to keep their toys.
Yeah.
And take them home with you.
Yeah. Somebody just posted a whole pile of medieval Germans.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's the same group. Well, here's the thing, and I love them to death, so I would never criticize them. But I wonder if you look at what they're doing, it's like they're trying to refight the wars of Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Which, if that's what you want to do. But I'm like, can I talk you out of some English Civil War guys? Would that be cool? If you're going to be doing all this nutso modeling.
Jim
You
has
gotta
been
learn
on
how to
this
do the
kick
modeling
to.
yourself.
I can't draw a straight line, my friend.
I know.
You don't have to. You let the computer draw it for you.
Yeah, isn't that what Blender's supposed to do for you?
Oh, sure. Because that's what everybody says about computers.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're looking at such an incredible universe of figures that are available now.
Yeah.
Just go on there. But, and this is the house in the conversation. If you're into World War II, Napoleonic, and fantasy, you are set for the rest of your life. In fact, the guy who is doing the Napoleonic figs he's going back in and making more. Not just Giorgio, who's awesome, but I think everybody sees what's going on, and now we're getting even more Napoleonics, including awesome new flags.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But ancients, there's nothing. Modern, very little. Strange, very strange.
Yeah, I'd love to do World of War 85 in minis. That'd be a blast.
Yeah, I'm still hoping that the guy who did the tank battle that we did will come out and do a lot of modern armor minis.
Yeah.
All right. Is that Michael or Trail Runner clipping counters?
I'm not. Clipping counters?
That's Michael. It's got to be making.
It sounded like somebody was clipping counters.
There he is.
Conquest of the Empire is on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to replace the minis with meeples. We're going to play this game for a week.
I'm not playing with me. Don't you?
The new version, the new version.
Shut your foul mouth. I do agree with you. We do need a game of Line in the Sand, though.
How dare you, eh? Wait, is that even on?
Yeah, Line in the Sand is not there. But it also, with the games I've contemplated making, that one would not be the most complicated.
No, it'd be pretty easy. Who's crunching something?
That's what I'm saying.
That's counter clipping, Vance.
No, I don't think it is. Answer free.
See?
Yeah, Mike is down there crunching counters. You bastard.
Yeah, the corner right there.
You evil bastard.
I know, yeah. I've been called worse, trust me. Oh, the Dark Sands is on there too. Wow. Battle Armor.
Oh, yeah.
This just amazes me, all this crap that's on here.
Oh, yeah. All it takes is one guy for whom that's his favorite game.
Yeah.
Well, the only problem that
You know,
worries me is a lot of the textures are like hosted on Dropbox. So if the guy's account gets canceled, or so some of the games I've downloaded, there's missing textures or missing pieces, and it's so there's. I think there might be a longevity issue with these things. I don't understand why they're not centralized somewhere.
Yeah, some of them are hosted on Imager as well, right?
Yeah. So it's a very fragile ecosystem, I think.
But I thought there was a way that you could actually download them to your own computer and then upload them to your own storage.
correct.
Well,
That is something I do with everything I really care about.
How do you do that?
It's a menu under the workshop. It's one of the workshop menus in the main page. I can picture doing it in my head. But you pull the whole thing down, and as Van says, you have personal storage in the Steam cloud.
Okay. So you're doing this in the game or in Steam?
In the game.
In the game.
Okay.
You're doing it in the game. And you just have to bear in mind, and I won't say it's a perfect answer, because if you're like me and you're a filthy game whore, I've got...
You'll fill it up pretty quick, yeah.
Yeah, I've got, you figure I think there are 24 games on a page. I've got 22 pages of games.
Wow.
So you got to be a little careful and a little selective. But you're the idea. No, I was horrified by the idea that I might wake up one day and all my Napoleonics were gone.
Gone, yeah.
Jim, out of those 22 pages of 24 games on a page, how many of them don't involve Napoleon? 3?
No, actually, the real question is how many of them aren't war games? Because it's amazing to go to Bonsai Cat's point about how many are available. You can get, seriously, I think only about a page is non-war games. Everything else is either a minis game or a SDI game. Shoot.
What page is Twilight Struggle
SDI
on?
Games by himself. I don't have Twilight Struggle for that. I play the app. Also not a war game. Hey, though, can we shout out, I think we should all shout out Dave Thompson of Dragoons for winning War Game of the Year on Board Game Geek. He got the Golden
Yes,
Gear for War Game of
sir.
the Year.
Yes,
And
that's for sure.
And I was happy to say that of the 3 games in the finalists, his was the only war game.
Oh, U-boat was a war game.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It's a delightful game. It is not a war game. Stop it.
It's a war worker placement game.
Okay, it's a war-themed Euro. That's fine. Much like Blitzkrieg, which is a fun game. It's a fun game. It's not a war game.
Vance, he's not talking the Avalon Hill Flatbox Classic. He's talking about the new thing that just came out, the card game.
Oh, yeah, the 20-minute card game.
Oh, no, that's bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I thought you were talking about the original Blitzkrieg.
Oh, no.
Smack your head is back, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. No. So yeah, David actually, that game was originally in the hands of David Heath.
And he let it go.
And he let it go. Yeah, it was just a different direction. But as I said in my Twitter post on the subject, Mr. Thompson has really become sort of our ambassador to the hobby game community.
Yeah.
He's like, go over there and explain to them why history is fun, please. Tell them to stop building Central Germany. for Christ's sake.
Fantastic Wheat Gathering with mechs.
Sorry.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, I love tuna. Okay, tuna is my guy. Okay, and I like tuna so much that when Size came out digitally on Steam, I bought it because I said, yeah, you know, this game makes me so angry. I'm sitting there playing it, going, I know I'm not stupid. I know what I'm supposed to do, but really, I'm just building a machine that does other things. When do I get to smash things with my giant mech thing? Well, you really don't.
You don't.
You really don't. I'm like, you gave me a cool mech and all this gorgeous art, and it's
to
another
build farms.
It's a Hanseatic wheat orgy. I go, you bastards! You drew me in. You suckered me in with your kick-ass mechs and all this other stuff, and then you do this. Oh!
You got the Kickstarter, Jim.
He ended up leaving
That sounds
Discord.
like it.
Salute.
Somebody just popped in.
Yeah, we've got
James.
James is here with us now.
All right, everybody stop talking about Stirret.
We have to be serious now. Professor's in town.
I think he's afraid to turn his camera on, maybe, but
Do it. Do the deed.
I was debating the Hawaiian shirt for Friday, but I grabbed one of the ACD shirts instead. So
There you go.
What brand?
I grabbed the Dragoon shirt.
Brand.
Yo, yeah.
A couple of Christmases ago, one of my coworkers got me a GH T-shirt for Christmas.
Really?
That's before everything happened. But yeah, I never wore it. I don't even know where it is right now, unfortunately. It was in that Jetron report, I thought. I did not expect it, that's for sure.
Caught you off guard. So, yeah. We're gonna get. I want to get some new ones made with the new logo of the dude actually in the chair on the tank, or on the horse.
On a horse.
Yeah. So we're gonna get some new shirts made at some point. So you can order them through Cafe Press. You can get them with either logo.
The tank's on the horse?
Yeah, the tank is on the horse. Tonight there is a tankard on the horse. If you go look for the Happy Hour logo, there's a Prussian beer stein in his hand tonight.
Oh, there you go.
So, if you pull up the mythical front page, you will see the logo of him holding the beer stein. He's also the Twitter image or the Facebook image. We've got the Happy Hour beer stein going on there. Kind of like the SS55 microphone for the podcast. So, mix and match a little there. But James, are you with us then?
I think so.
Yes, there he
Here
is.
you.
They're
I'm
hearing
trying
you.
to use both a phone and the headset, which means I need to turn off the audio from the phone if I can figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
we hear you
then turn
twice.
on the sorry about that.
It's like you're a Borg.
We are bored.
It's like the Canadian Borg, right? Please await to be assimilated. To be assimilated in French, press 2.
You've been up there. Oh, hello.
Yeah, James, you need to pick something and hang it up. One or the other. Hold on. All right, I can mute him.
You have the power.
I have the power. Ah. Kind of needed to.
You.
Yeah. So Mo from Mo's Game Table had threatened to pop in at some point here, and I'm still trying to figure out where he is on Skype to try and get him on here. The Jim, you were talking a minute ago about David Thompson. He was actually invited to join us, but had already fired up family movie night, so we missed him for this one. We will have to catch him next time we do one of these. Probably, giving him more than 45 minutes notice would probably help too. So.
Well, and he is forever referred to in my mind as the award-winning David Thompson.
And why not? So,
Hey, Jim, we can see you. We can't hear you because... There we go.
What the hell have you done?
So you probably don't want to.
Oh, there goes the audio.
You have too many mics on, James.
It's his beard.
It's his beard.
I think Ian has a more robust beard than him.
Fungal growth, yeah.
You're being hurtful. Grant is hitting with his words again.
Jim, not all of us can sport the cool biker mustache, man. We can't all pull it off. I did actually make a note earlier today.
He
So
got reelected with that face.
this right here, this is the longest my hair has ever been in my life. Right?
Really?
Really.
Filthy hippie.
Oh, mine's like 3 inches short of my longest, yeah.
My senior year of high school, I grew out my hair just long enough that one day I could pull it back into something that could be considered a ponytail. Like the next day I went and got a haircut. And I'm a good inch and a half beyond that at this point.
Junior high, I had shoulder length hair.
Nice.
Yeah, but you see, in Canada, you can join the military with hair like that.
No, you can't. That's Norway.
Yeah. No, it's just,
You can join with it that way. Last long.
yeah. Playing soccer in Oklahoma, you don't want long hair, right? It's it's a little warmish out there, and the hair just doesn't help.
Actually, I know. So,
So
Doesn't have to see me.
yeah, so right now, I mean, we've got video right now of Vance, of Michael, and of our buddy Trail Runner there, and I think the rest of y'all have cameras on that just aren't streaming at the moment, and part of that may just be the lower connection speed that I've got here.
For some reason, Zoom is only giving me 4 pictures. I've got Trail Runner, Adam, Jim. James has got a view of Trail Runner for some reason.
Yeah, I think
and then the rest of you are all just like, I've got you in a little circle up here and Mike in a little circle up in the top.
I think Skype caps out at 4. I think what we may do though,
so
Vance.
If you want to do this next week, we'll use my Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll do it next week, but next time we try this, maybe in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever, I think we may give your Zoom a try. Again, tonight was completely sort of a test of a concept, science project, whatever you want to call it. Whatever those things are. Vance, what's the appropriate technical term for just trying shit out? Because you're the guy that would know.
Experiment.
All right, cool. We were experimenting. Don't we need a hypothesis? Does this work? Does anyone care?
No, you make shit up and then build it. Yeah.
The hypothesis is it works.
Yes.
We may not be confirming it.
Alternatively,
Well, it sort of works.
Raving cloud show.
Yeah.
For variety view, the sound is poor enough I can't understand what's being said.
Better than a clown show or clown car.
So I understand you.
And I can hear you.
I still can't see anybody but Brad.
So on top of everything else, fans
They get
hate
shown up.
clowns.
I hate clowns. Clowns are evil.
Chris, your lack of seeing anyone but me may be a bandwidth issue. That's the best I can think of. Hey, check it out. There's a multi-screen.
How'd you get more people on the screen? Because I only have 4 as well.
I only get 4 as well.
I'm not sure how that
I got
happened.
one on my phone. When I need to take a screenshot, it shows 5 of you. I have no idea what's going on.
I've been using Zoom, for work, and I didn't think there was. In my head, I didn't think there was much of a difference, but it definitely is a better multi-box, multi-user.
Oh yeah,
system.
no,
I
it totally
think
is.
so, too, yeah.
One of the main reasons we went with Skype for tonight was the fact that I knew that the majority of the folks that I was inviting to this had Skype accounts because that's what we use when we record the podcast. And so because the bulk of the folks being invited were folks that had been on podcasts before, I knew they had Skype accounts, and I figured that was the lowest bar that we could have to clear to do this. So
Sure.
So that was the starting
Sure,
point.
but only one person has to have the pay Zoom account, right?
Uh,
Everybody else can have the freebie account. To
I
log
think
in.
as long as you invite us, then it works, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I got it through work because it's $20 a month and it just goes on my expense. So
yeah. I have one of the free ones. I had one for work when I was working. But I've just got one of the
They
free
took
ones
that
right
from you,
now.
did
Yeah.
They took that from you.
Yeah, so we can invite up to like 90 people to the free one, but for the free one, you're capped at 40 minutes for a single call. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought the free one was only a couple of people at a time.
I don't, that's not the way I read it on the screen, but I could have been reading a little too quickly. So, either way, if you've got the one for work and you don't mind offering it up for us to play with next time, then maybe we try it and see what happens.
I don't care. That's easy.
Again, the first one was let's get everybody on here and say hi and share a beverage and talk war game stuff just for fun with no real agenda. The second piece of this was what does it look like when it's streaming? And honestly, I don't have a clue because I'm going to kill my bandwidth if I try to stream it and watch it. So I think part of what's hurting the bandwidth is my wife and daughter were inside watching Alice in Wonderland a few minutes ago. We own the DVD, but I think they were streaming it through Disney Plus. So I think that's cutting into my bandwidth here as well. C'est la vie. So, Jim, what's on
James,
Tabletop
we're just
Simulator
looking at
tomorrow?
your screen, not you. There we go.
Yeah, I'm one of my problems is I can't tell what's being shown, which is another thing that Zoom does much better than this. Zoom lets me see the picture I'm putting out.
So if you look up in the corner of, I don't know if any of y'all can see the YouTube feed or not. Up in the corner of the YouTube feed, there is the picture of me on my own Skype thing, so I can see what I'm showing you guys. It's visible up in the corner. Right now, what we're streaming is Trail Runner kind of laughing at us, Adam sort of staring at us, and then me up in the corner and a whole bunch of y'all's avatars. And the rest of y'all pop in and out. There's James. See, nope, that's a second trail runner screen there.
See, we have 2 pictures of Trail Runner. One's the feedback loop from James.
I'm special, I guess.
I see Mike in a little tiny circle and Brant's in a little tiny circle. We don't see Chris at all. He's just a voice in the background.
He doesn't have a
He's
camera.
around. Well, he's not even there.
Yeah.
Am I not? Am I not here?
No, Chris doesn't have the camera option. You're there. You're just not shooting video.
Damn good thing for all of you. I'm ugly as SOB.
You're pretty. Stop it.
Yeah, you're right. I am pretty.
Hey, I went drinking with you. You got to be pretty.
Question is, who'd you leave with?
That's a true fact.
Which shows me 2.5 pictures.
Well, right now, Michael's trying to show us his thumbprint like he's trying to unlock the vault or
This is true.
something.
Oh, we lost Mike.
We did. He just left. That's what it said. He left. So, hey, while we have an assembled crowd for a moment, let's hoist a toast for our buddy Mirth and his quick recovery. It's not a plague-related thing. It was an injury-related thing. But our boy Chris is he's out of the hospital. He's moved to a rehab facility. He's going to be there for a little while yet. But at least he is on the mend and going to be getting better. So a quick toast for our buddy Mirth. And a couple months from now when he's back to full speed, we'll let him go back and watch the live stream and wonder what the hell we were up to.
You look better than me.
Yeah. All right, so let's...
Besides, I suspect it was can't see.
Where's our
You know what?
buddy?
I'm showing my screen.
You are showing your screen.
Yes, and you've got the clacketous damn type
that
keyboard ever.
This time. Amazing but true. That was not me typing.
Let's see if we can avoid people having seizures.
Yeah. Normally it is you. With
There.
Vance is waving to himself. Are you watching the
No, I'm
YouTube
waving.
screen on the...
I'm waving with James and company.
Fellow Canadian.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
have in the phone. We have this little thumbnail that's maybe centimeter by a quarter of a centimeter in size.
Oh, you're using your phone. Okay. That's why you're this little vertical strip.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't
also
shown up
part
on the
of
main
the-
feed over here that
it's
I'm
run.
streaming yet.
On the phone, I have to prop the phone up vertically. I can't prop it up on the side, or it comes out on the side. I think. I guess we could test it.
Make everybody non-enthusiastic.
Anyway.
Oops.
Oh, hey.
Adam's
Down
taking
there on their
snapshots.
sides, but yeah.
Yeah, that's funny because now we've got a nice vertical view of you, but it's vertical still.
So over on this end, it corrected.
Yeah, I just think it's not for some reason.
James, did you want to hang up and rejoin and try and reorient the screen?
You're telling me to do. Sorry.
I was asking if you wanted to hang up and rejoin, but with the screen oriented horizontally, and see if that makes a difference. Because I think the reason you're not showing on the video over here is everybody else is horizontal.
There you go. That worked. There you go.
Yep.
Give me an icon that let me turn the screen.
There you go.
All right.
I'll just lean in once in a while.
A victory over technology. It's very kind of.
Never let the machines beat you, man.
If nothing else, I have a sledgehammer in the garage.
There you go.
Yeah.
I welcome my robot overlords.
Well, the thing is, I mean, everybody's seeing something a little different on their screens, but what's because my screen is the one streaming right now. Everybody's getting what's on my screen. James's video hasn't popped up on my screen yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. That's fine.
I've got Adam and Trail Runner and Jim and James.
Yeah.
And then Brant is this little tiny circle in the corner.
There I am. Well, if y'all want to see what I'm seeing, you can just flip over to YouTube and catch it over there.
Yeah, that won't cause any confusion at all.
Yeah.
So you have Trail Runner and Adam and Vance on your screen, Brant? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm looking at the YouTube feed right now.
That's what I've got on my
That's who
screen.
I have.
What?
Trail Runner, Adam, and Vance.
My screen is slightly wider than what you've got on YouTube, so I'm clipped slightly on my screen. I don't know if I can fix this or not.
Looks like Vance was given
Yeah. There, I've resized slightly to where I think I fit in the YouTube window a little bit better. So, I'm running 2 monitors here, so I've got the stream on one side, not the YouTube stream, but the streaming app on one monitor, so I can keep an eye on what's broadcasting. And it's not great quality broadcast. Like, I'm not pretending otherwise. We knew that, so...
So you got a 7-second delay running so you can clip out any bad shit, right?
Oh, God, no.
It's far too late for that.
Vance, in 7 years of us doing podcasts, what makes you think we would edit anything? Like, any sort of audio, anything, really?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, for a while there, half the podcast started with, Eckenfeld's dropping an F-bomb on people, so,
Well, there's that too.
And we're drunk.
Yeah, and, well, that happened before the podcast even kicked off, so.
Sure.
I didn't mind Mirth being drunk so much when it was just a bunch of us talking to each other, but when he would get drunk for the guests, that got a little much sometimes. I haven't asked Bruce Hurd back yet, but that's more out of concern that he might say yes than anything. Because I don't need somebody else slobbering all over him through Skype. Bruce is a great dude, but man, Mirth was well lit that night. So. All right. See if we can get Eckenfeld's back in here.
So James, you still working from home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably for at least through the end of the month, if not longer. Not least because I'm now teaching this way as well.
Oh, are you?
And
Oh,
one
boy.
of the changes in moving to teaching wargaming online is the manpower requirement soars.
Quadrupled at least.
Really?
Oh yeah, I need to have one member of my team permanently available on tech support from at least half an hour before through the end of the class. I need me as leading the class. For every single iteration of the game, I need somebody bird dogging the game to make sure that the students know what the hell they're doing. So if we're running 3 games, that's already 5 of us.
Wow.
There's one place where there's my class and there's a class we're supporting at the same 3-hour block. And we're pulling in people from the CPOP team, the Mission Command System team, to help out because we're going to need a minimum of 8 or 9 people to run the 2 classes.
Wow. Wow.
So, and these are events where it would take maybe 2 of us for each of the events tops if it were in person. Because in person, I can, there's Vance's table and there's Jim's table. I can stand between them and I can run both. But when it's on virtual, I got to have somebody at Vance, somebody at Jim's table.
Plus tech support.
And it's much harder for me also, since usually I'm the guy who knows the game best. If Vance is running table A and Jim is running table B, and you don't know the game as well because you played it once to get ready, then in live, I can be standing there and it's easy to grab my shoulder and pull me over. But when it's virtual, I have to know to cycle through your room. We have to have a signal system set up. You got to have a face plan so that when comms fail, you got something to do. It's been an experience.
Wow.
The biggest surprise has been Vassal. because, frankly, we've been sold on Vassal, in part because it doesn't enforce any of the rules and it doesn't bother enforcing any physics, which means that the moderator can reach in and do whatever the hell they need to do to put things back on track. So one of the things we wanted to run is Race to the Rhine, and we will be next Tuesday. And it's in Tabletop, which is a nice, slick, cool-looking interface. And we thought, wow, if only we could have all of this. And then we tried it in a sort of semi-public event, and it was a nightmare with people who'd been in and who'd gotten on fine with Vassal saying, this thing sucks. Okay, lesson learned.
Oh, have you tried Tabletop Simulator? Because
we did. One of the things I want to hear from Jim is how he makes it work. But it's my impression that TTS is really based around running either miniatures games, Euro games, or RPGs. And when you start to get small fiddly components, it becomes a pain in the butt. But
no, we play hex and chit games on it all the time.
All right.
Right, Jim?
Not only that, James, but we have video evidence.
You've absolutely got to do to get Tabletop Simulator. You got to spool back the physics to nothing, turn off the physics, and you got to change the drop height. Those two things are about the thing I get, and I realize this wouldn't be a problem for people that are playing a computer game of this kind. How many people I've been teaching a game to that expect it to enforce, somehow pursue the game. Like I had a guy grab and select a unit of cavalry and right-click on the board, and he was frustrated they didn't move. And it's like, no, that's not.
You have to.
Yeah, you do it. It's you, man. It's all you. And so there's all kinds of stuff like that. Now, I will say this: if you have a stack of kits, I'm thinking the one certainly is. I'll take the one I know best, La Bataille. I don't know if I'd want to do it in TTS. And I'm talking a stack 4, 5, 6 high, which can happen.
Yeah.
Somebody just put up the GMT Hoplite on TTS, and I'm going to try it tonight because that's the first one I can think of. I just have not had the problem with kits that others have had. I think some people don't adapt well to a 3D environment.
Yeah.
I think some people fuss about that, but most of the people that I've played with, they go with it. And and turn off the ability to flip the table.
The part of the reason we bounced off it also may be the modules that we tried, because we were trying things that we were specifically intending to use in class, and the modules generally seem half-baked or incomplete. We didn't cut it out.
Yeah, there's lots of half-baked stuff out there. But
sure. I mean, look,
people get half order or whatever.
Yeah, it's not a moderated thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'll get some, like, for example, there is a mod for mechs and minions. Very simple board game. And it's just, the effort that went into this mod is insane. I mean, you just click a button and it sets up the table. It's all set to go. Away you go. Play the game. See through it. And there are others that seem more like a collection of parts. I'm curious to know which ones you tried.
James, let's be fair. There are war games that...
We tried Battle for Moscow. I'm trying to remember what else was on it. I do not remember the list at the moment. I could probably go going through Steam and looking into the workshop subscriptions, because that would probably tell me what that. But we didn't run into any that seemed worth the extra effort compared to Steam. And there was also the consideration that any student that we had use this in class, we don't have to buy it. And Vassal's free. The flip side of that, of course, is as soon as we go back into the office, running Vassal is going to be a non-starter on the network. So
and let me say what I've said repeatedly. Vassal bounced off me about as hard as can be imagined. The fact I indict Vassal alone for the fact that you can't scroll on the mouse wheel. I just don't understand why that secret dark magic is lost to them. And I also really dislike the inability to see most of the map at the same time. I understand value, but I just don't think, for me, it's not even close. And so there may be a right brain, left brain. But as for Fire in the Lake, there may be 7 different versions of Fire in the Lake in Tabletop Simulator. And in my experience, one of them is good. So
Hey,
I'm not saying
20
that
years
you
ago,
guys
I
might
bounced
like
off
it.
Vassal hard enough that I thought I would never use it again. So the fact that we're using it now is a Damascene.
Yeah.
It's
Hey.
we tried it out of a sense of duty and then said, "Hold, actually produce." So
Sure.
Hey, Jim, 2 comments there. One, your whole thing about some of them are beautiful games that set up very easy and play very easy, and some are just a collection of parts, describes like half of the wargame marketplace, just in general. The comment about Vassal not being able to handle scroll wheels on the mouse, I think Vassal predates the existence of a scroll wheel on a mouse, doesn't it?
it also adapts the scroll wheel to scrolling the map up and down instead of zooming in and out. And everybody expects it to zoom in and out instead of moving the map up and down. In part, I think, because the functionality predates the standardization of the function.
Yeah.
Is it dumb? Yes. Should they rebuild it? Yes.
They're trying to.
Yeah. There's a version 4 supposedly in the works.
Well, that's what you get for free, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Another thing we've found is that, so one of my guys has taken a stab, several of my guys have been taking stabs at putting various games in these various systems. And Tabletopia, 1, is a pain in the ass, and 2, has extremely hostile terms of service in which they claim anything you upload, which put us off it hard. There's a thing called Swift that's sort of an army version of Vassal that nobody uses because you have to be a JavaScript programmer to build modules. Tabletop Simulator, they were finding annoying, and for whatever reason, they're getting on with Vassal. I don't know why, but it's working out for them.
Well,
So.
Vassal is actually very easy to build modules in.
Okay.
It's really simple. Tabletop Simulator is not that difficult either, but it's a little bit more involved. Tabletopia I've never used, so.
Yeah, I mean, Tabletopia and Tabletop Simulator are essentially the same thing. It just, some have features one way or the other, and I've obviously can't build for a Tabletop Simulator. I also think it's very interesting to watch how the community for Tabletop Simulator has evolved as this lockdown has hit us even harder. There's a lot more stuff cropping up every single time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there going, well, we got to play somehow. And most people, it's interesting. I'm such a critic of the Eurotrash wargame, but honestly, a lot of those people are the ones that have been designing some pretty nice mods. Here's a classic example. Take a look at the Panzer Leader module for Tabletop Simulator. It's freaking gorgeous. And it's got literally everything. It's got alternative boards, alternative scenarios.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to explode like Vassal did, right?
Well, I think it's more that it has dawned on people from an RPG perspective, from a war game perspective, that this is a way they can do things.
Yeah. Well, and to me, the way we've been playing the minis games, I think that's what Tabletop Simulator really shines at.
Yeah. Well, that
because you can build like massive 1,000-piece armies in seconds, right?
Yep. Absolutely. One of our recruits to the Armchair Dragoons is a former student of James's, actually, and a really good guy. And one of the things that I see him up to, he is trying, and I hope he's succeeding. I've helped him a couple times, but I don't know if he's getting there. He is trying very, very hard to get a full Kriegspiel set done.
Cool. That would be very useful for you.
Yeah.
You know, and he's trying to do it in a single game, in a single environment. The other thing, by the way, that I do every time it goes on sale I always have at least 4 licenses sitting around that I can share with people because they're like, I think they come down to $4 to $5 each.
Yeah.
So somebody wants to play, I throw it over to him, say, yeah, come over and play. I've done it a couple times.
Who is that clacking away?
James is typing.
There's typing.
There are some people that are
Well,
hunt
this
and peck
also-
typists. James is a hunt and
To
kill
my shame, I
typist.
can't remember the name of 3 out of the 8 games we're using in class.
Unless you're busy or something.
Yeah. But we're using Bitterwoods for a different class. We're making a Vassal module for Aftershock for somebody else's class.
So, Adam, have you popped into Saturday Night Fights yet? Have you joined the fun?
I was there for maybe 10 minutes a couple months ago. Saturday's a little, can be a little rough sometimes to sit down and play games.
Yeah. Well, so
Connection info.
Jim, what other nights are you guys doing now? You got Wednesday Night Warfare and Thursday Night Throwdowns and Monday Night Mayhem or whatever.
No, we've got Saturday Night Fights, which is the big one. One of the things that we're talking about is we have to get the Wagner game off the ground soon. We've actually got a full slate of players now, but we want to do that because we've got so many European players. We're going to start it at noon on a Saturday, and I'm actually talking about noon on a Sunday, just trying to figure out which way people want to go. But I also take Warfare, which we try to do something smaller and lighter, not necessarily trying to squeeze in Empires and Arms in a 2-hour slot. We've had some good games. That was one of the ones where Vance came over and we just played the old SPI quad Armchair game for a couple hours.
Yeah, and finished the game. It was fun.
Those are again. There's a guy by the name of Mad Mark. Who, if you're on Tabletop Simulator, go see. But this guy Mad Mark on Tabletop Simulator, he has done all these classes. He's got Escape from the Hive. He's got John Carter, Warlord of Mars. All these crazy old SPI games that are actually a lot of fun.
If you get a John Carter game going, I've got a local buddy here that I could almost guarantee would want to join in.
Sheboygan.
We played the creature that ate Sheboygan.
Well, Jim, I think we need one.
Absolutely, yeah. Good point. If anybody out there is listening, we are one short for our Blood Bowl tournament using Blood Bowl Legendary. We got 5 guys in. We need one more, and we can have an actual round robin. So come on over.
Hey, Jim, one of the things that's never been clear to me in whatever I've been able to find about this is, what's the connection info? If I decide to drop in, what the hell am I supposed to do?
I will send you. Come on Steam, and I'll send you an invite.
Yeah,
You have a Steam account?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Are we friends on Steam?
I have no idea.
Are you friends in real life?
My user ID is James. How do you present on Steam?
I'm Cyrano. But I'm Cyrano with the fun rights that's avatar.
So, James, there is a whole Steam group for the Armchair Dragoons. You can probably just join there and add the whole gang as friends. For you.
Capitalize it.
Hey!
Just lost Jim.
Yeah, but I just got James and Cora on there.
We lost Adam.
Adam's AFK. He says he'll be back in a second. I had James and Cora for just a second on video, and then they went away.
Oh, really?
Well,
No, I've only got 3. Here.
I've only got 2 right now. I've got Vance and Jim.
Right.
Oh, James is coming back. There he is.
One thing I would like to show you is one of these days when you're not playing, James, I will show you around the way I've been running the 1809 Kriegspiel in GTS.
Yeah, that would be interesting as well. I would like to see that. There's a quick link thing from Steam.
Hey,
Quick invite to.
so James, be
friends or
careful on what you're throwing up on the screen. We're actually streaming this whole thing on YouTube right now.
Oh shit!
You're gonna get lots of friends.
You're about to make a lot of friends, man.
I don't know if they're friends. Well, just delete that. Goodbye. Sociability is not my strong suit.
Yeah, but anything that showed up on screen on my end is streaming on YouTube right now because we're live streaming at the moment. I have no idea if anybody's watching. I can't check the YouTube stream with the bandwidth that I've got available out here. I can't watch it and stream at the same time. So I have no idea what's going on the YouTube stream. There may be people chatting over there. Vance, if you're running dual monitors, if you got the ability to check and like say hi to anybody that's trying to talk to us on the stream, that'd be helpful.
I'll try to go through my.
I'm watching the YouTube channel.
Okay. Is there anybody on there besides you?
We're all watching ourselves.
No, I'm just saying, is there anybody watching besides you? Like, is there just one person watching?
There's me watching. So there's 5 people watching. It might be all us.
It could be.
Mike Colello is telling us that this broadcast is the strongest argument for solo wargaming he's ever seen.
He's right, too.
I was going to say, he's not wrong.
And if I search for a community group by Armchair, I find nothing that strikes me.
It doesn't work that way for some reason.
James, I'll send you the link here in a minute.
Alternatively, would you just look for Cyrano, please?
Yeah, it found no Cyranos.
Really, there should be like 500 of them.
There's like 1 billion of us.
Yeah,
Are
well,
you on
it doesn't happen.
Steam? Let me ask again. Are you on a computer?
Well, no. All right, it found you this time. I don't understand this search function. You are clearly, of course, the guy with his hand in his shirt.
That's me, baby.
No, you're not. You don't have a hand in your shirt.
He's got his third hand in his shirt.
All right.
Anyway, my profile's got the drop shot test on it.
Nice. So yeah, no, I will happily show you around the joint. It's been. I'm actually filming all the videos in TTS2 this year. Or this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. It's the annual freak spiel.
Yeah. Are we 2 years into this one?
No, we're in the vicinity of 19 months.
Really? Seems like 3.5 years.
I understand.
I'm sorry, I've been riding through Bavaria for 3.5 years.
No, you've been marching through Bohemia. There's a difference.
Well, Bohemia then for 3.5 years.
Yeah, I had a horse like that once.
No, Vance, you will. When this debrief happens, when the AAR occurs, we will discuss the Archduke Charles' ability to read a calendar. This will be among the issues discussed.
Only among.
Yeah, there are others. There are others. But no,
One of the strangest negotiations ever. I suspect it's one of them as well.
Well, no, I mean, I may have said this before, but from this one has something I've actually framed. John Gill, the historian who's playing the game, he sent a message that actually did include the instructions he wanted to convey to his troops, but he did it by doing a poetic rendering of All Along the Watchtower in German.
Oh my God.
And I was reading it in the German, going, wait a minute. All Along the Watchtower. And he changed the words just enough to convey what was going on in the battle.
That's awesome.
And he sent it to you in German.
Oh, yeah. And he asked me to pass it along to the other commanders in German.
See, there are so many layers of this that are hilarious. It's not just the All Along the Watchtower part. It's the part that he sends it to you in German, and you understand what it is in German. and I dare say none of his subordinates are going to speak it. So
Yeah, I'm going. I will send this. I will send this if you like. No, there's like every great creek, like every Creekspiel, you get these amazing moments of, okay, that's what you want. I'll do it.
That's what you really want to do.
I
You sure
am
do.
not here. I am not here to help you not step on that landmine. I am not here for that.
malicious obedience.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It is malicious obedience. As you wish.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the ARR for this one.
Oh no! This one is going to create recriminations. I promise. this one ends. This one ends in. Where were you? Exactly.
Adam, are you in on this Creekspiel?
No, unfortunately not.
All right, maybe
Yeah,
the
but
next
I-
one.
How many
The
more
next one, right?
games this one's likely to run?
I don't think I'm giving anything away when I have DDA Ruby and I have a tabletop simulator date set up on Sunday. The guy who wrote Flight of the Eagle, he's coming over to my game to help me judge what's going on.
So what I need to do is express ship some wine to him.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the
Yeah,
only
so
thing
he,
to say.
We started off on April the 16th. It is now the mid-morning of April the 21st. Now, let it also be observed that the Battle of Ekmul is not until April the 22nd, which is the decisive battle of the campaign. But I really do need DDA's assistance. Okay, what about Vid? This is not on your rules sheet.
So Jim just.
By the way, he just sent me over a message.
So this is about.
He just sent me over a very nice. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's about 5 days worth of actual battle time, and it's taken how long to play?
19 months.
Oh. As long as it's on your own time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, no, and I mean, and part of it is, I went over to these battlefields last August, so we took a break there and, did all this other stuff. But it is really, really cool to talk to. He actually now, because he can, is putting out all the revolutionary campaigns. He's got the campaigns entirely done for the Napoleonic Wars, so now he's doing the revolutionary campaign.
Time slows down.
The thing that cracked. Well, of course it does. You're playing Creekspiel. Everything is better. The funny part talking to him about it though is that he evolved this system into 3 volumes, and the final one has like depots and guns and ammo and prisoners and hospitals and all this stuff, and he's sort of admitted to me, yeah, just play the first volume, it's really the best.
Well, okay then.
So,
Hey,
no, but you're playing in the next one. The next one is 1807 Friedland. So,
And that'll start in 2 years.
After running 1806 game from Shaco's, some of the students are saying, gosh, it is really awesome that we're able to play the game this way with double blind, but we need to make it double blind so that you're just the corps commander and corresponding back and forth with Friedrich and Napoleon or this and that. And I said, well, stay on my mailing list and I will tell you when the next of these things runs. It may be a while and they'll take a long time, but at least some of them may well sign up.
that'd be awesome. No, I mean, it is... It's funny because I'm not giving anything away when I say that John and his friend Lance Merriman, they're friends. They're playing characters, and they're not cheating in any way. But they just understand the concept so well and they're communicating so well that you just see the advantage that you get when it finally clicks. How do you? And to me, and this is among the 1,000 reasons I love the Kriegspiel. It has so many applications to everyday life. When I watch people try to manage crisis situations, and I watch people freak out in the face of those crises, especially because they lack situational awareness, to watch skilled Kriegspiel. Yeah, I don't know everything that's going on. Here are my knowns, here are my unknowns, and here are my sort of knowns, and I'm going to act on that. Yeah. It's not very detailed at all. It really isn't. But it's very cool. It's a pleasure to watch, especially when you get one of those messages where one player is arguing with the other player, and you know the one player knows exactly what is going on, and the other player is getting it exactly wrong.
That's
and you want to jump in and go, let the other guy talk. Let the other guy talk.
That's pretty much like every Facebook politics discussion ever.
To your turn, Brett. Yeah, but look, this is the case where somebody is saying, I think so-and-so is over there, and we should go over there. And the other guy says, no, come on, he can't possibly be over there. It's like, well, no, I know exactly where he is. And so I'm looking at it going, oh, God, let the other guy talk.
Yeah, the other guy has something to say.
When you run it live and you've got inexperienced runner umpires, you get a lot of that because the most experienced player out there can be crippled by a runner umpire who has not yet learned the art of giving a good report.
Yes.
Yep.
Say what I said, not what you think I said. Yes.
But
yeah,
it's one of the things I wrote in my last article for the Dragoons. One of the things that I've never been so tempted to steal an object in my life came from Pappenheim to Pappenheim from before battle, and it's in the Bavarian Army Museum or the Austrian Army Museum. It's stained in Pappenheim's blood because it was on him when he was killed. It's so awesome. And I looked at it and I realized this guy was moving 40,000 troops, a big army for the time. And the order, and it's a critical battle, and Wallenstein knows if he doesn't get here, he's screwed. The order reads, it reads, if I may trouble your lordship to bring your men to me as soon as you can, near the town of Lutzen. Deploy to the west. That's it.
That's it.
That's the operational order for a corps.
Part of the reason it's praised as a request. We had this explained by one of my students who was a German officer many years ago, and he pointed out that the origin of the whole mission command thing in Auftragstaktik is that if a fellow noble gave you an order, you would challenge him to a duel because they weren't allowed to give you orders. So you had to phrase his request, please do this favor for me. So,
if you're not doing anything else, please.
Yeah, David Adolphus is right over there. So if you could do me the great favor of showing around, I don't know, 0600-ish, that'd be good for you.
If you're not too busy.
I'll bake. and he came, and he won, and they lost, but it was much closer because he was there. But and seeing that level of
non-detail,
and just try to get it what it is you want to do. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're going on, hour and 45 minutes or so of the call and an hour and a half or so of the live stream. I think we've proven that this can work. We've now got some refinement to do to it. So Vance, let's you and I sync up sometime over the next 2 weeks or so to make sure the Zoom piece of this will work the way we think it will, so we can do better than just this Skype stuff. And then let's do another one of these and invite folks back. Adam, come back and join us. Chris, maybe you'll join the 21st century and get a camera by then. James,
Yeah, that's not
maybe
likely.
your camera will populate for the rest of us by then, because I've seen you show up like twice for a couple of seconds each, and I'm the master of
That's the
streaming.
the phone app.
Yeah. Well, but there was no predictability as to who was showing up in the stream, why. Because Trail Runner said 4 words for an hour and a half, and he was on screen for most of the time. So I'm not really sure what the deal was there. But yeah, just remember that this is streaming, so whatever you say on the app, like the rest of the world is going to be able to see. So just be careful with those. So, dudes, this was fun. To anybody in the audience that look, Mike Colello's already drunk. He's seeing 8 of us instead of the 4 of us that are actually here. For anybody else that happened to stumble across this, I apologize now. Probably should have done that an hour and a half ago. But, hey, this was at least a little bit of fun, and we'll try this again sometime. So thank you guys for showing up, making the time to be here, and see what we were able to pull off with this. And like I said, we'll do it again sometime. So
Yeah, thanks.